honest, I really got a sense last night when watching Liz Cheney that we were watching, in one way or another, a piece of history. It's not being melodramatic. As a conservative, you look back to those moments where somebody steps into the limelight and leads a movement. I think about Reagan in 1966. I think about Margaret Thatcher in 1975 in Britain. And her address before the Conservative Party. She sort of sweeps away the lectern and shows everybody who's in control there. Liz Cheney could well be that person in 2021, but the question is for what party? Because the party that she's a member of, that I was a member of, that Ronald Reagan was a member of, that party no longer exists. It's a party that, well, forget about ideology. It's a party that's anti-democratic and that refuses and is taking its position. Its future position is being a party that will refuse to accept Democrats winning elections. If they don't like the outcome, they won't accept the election results. Is certainly what it seems if you look at Arizona and you look at what's happening in the House of Representatives right now with the Republican caucus.
This was something incredible to watch. I've been in a huddle with the Forbes team over the past few weeks looking at women over 50, thousands of submissions of remarkable women who've done remarkable things. But this is different. To see her standing out there alone, Republicans left. They left the hall because they didn't want to be, I guess, rebuked or embarrassed, or they were too weak to sit there and listen to the truth. House Republicans are expected to vote this morning to remove her, to get her out of their way, Congresswoman Liz Cheney, from her post as conference chair. GOP lawmakers will meet behind closed doors at 9 a.m. That's when a member will need to bring up a vote of no confidence against Cheney. The vote will be held by secret ballot, and a simple majority will be needed to remove her from her leadership position. Last night, ahead of the vote, Congresswoman Cheney spoke on the House floor.
God has blessed America, Mr. Speaker, but our freedom only survives if we protect it, if we honor our oath taken before God in this chamber to support and defend the Constitution, if we recognize threats to freedom when they arise. Today, we face a threat America has never seen before. A former president who provoked a violent attack on this Capitol in an effort to steal the election has resumed his aggressive effort to convince Americans that the election was stolen from him. He risks inciting further violence. Millions of Americans have been misled by the former president. They have heard only his words, but not the truth, as he continues to undermine our democratic process, sowing seeds of doubt about whether democracy really works at all. I am a conservative Republican, and the most conservative of conservative principles is reverence for the rule of law. The Electoral College has voted. More than 60 state and federal courts, including multiple judges the former president appointed, have rejected his claims. The Trump Department of Justice investigated the former president's claims of widespread fraud and found no evidence to support them. The election is over. That is the rule of law. That is our constitutional process. Those who refuse to accept the rulings of our courts are at war with the Constitution. Our duty is clear. Every one of us who has sworn the oath must act to prevent the unraveling of our democracy. This is not about policy. This is not about partisanship. This is about our duty as Americans. Remaining silent and ignoring the lie emboldens the liar. I will not participate in that. I will not sit back and watch in silence while others lead our party down a path that abandons the rule of law and joins the former president's crusade to undermine our democracy. As the party of Reagan, Republicans have championed democracy, won the Cold War, and defeated the Soviet communists. Today, America is on the cusp of another Cold War, this time with communist China. Attacks against our democratic process and the rule of law empower our adversaries and feed communist propaganda that American democracy is a failure. We must speak the truth. Our election was not stolen, and America has not failed. I received a message last week from a Gold Star father who said, "Standing up for the truth honors all who gave all." We must all strive to be worthy of the sacrifice of those who have died for our freedom. They are the patriots Catherine Lee Bates described in the words of America the Beautiful when she wrote, "O beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life." Ultimately, Mr. Speaker, this is at the heart of what our oath requires, that we love our country more, that we love her so much that we will stand above politics to defend her, that we will do everything in our power to protect our Constitution and our freedom that has been paid for by the blood of so many. We must love America so much that we will never yield in her defense. That is our duty. Thank you.
So, Willie, freedom only survives if we protect it. We must speak the truth. The election was not stolen. America has not failed. And of Donald Trump's attempt to undermine democracy, as Liz Cheney said on the floor of the People's House last night, she simply said, "I will not participate."
That had the feel of a political eulogy. It sounded like Liz Cheney was standing there remembering a party that no longer exists, talking about the Cold War and talking about Ronald Reagan and the Bushes and everything else that came afterward, and reminding conservatives, none of whom were in the room, by the way, because, as you said, they walked out except for Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado, perhaps in shame. They didn't want to be confronted with her message. She was reminding them of what it meant to be a conservative, and the rule of law was at the top of the list.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our YouTube channel. You can follow up on today's top stories and breaking news, or catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.